Hi there, I'm going to go through some Season 0 Ribbon Challenge advice. You can check the description to jump to a certain challenge you may be interested in. I still get questions about these, so I wanted to do something, even though these will reset this coming Tuesday when Season 1 goes live. Gotta make sure everyone knows that. You don't have much time left to finish these if that's a goal you have. Yeah, sorry about that. Could have had better timing on this video. I like to take the time to collect clips and give meaningful advice, but maybe I'll aim for a bit sooner next season. To be fair, I was also waiting quite a while on that doing work bug to be fixed. Well, either way, I'm sure some of this advice will still be relevant for the next set of challenges we get in Season 1, and there is double XP, double weapon XP on right now, all the way until Season 1 begins, so it's a great time to grind this stuff out if you are close to finishing it. Let's get on with it then. I was gonna do a thing where I organized everything into categories like guns you needed to use, killstreaks, equipment, perks, put it all in the spreadsheet. Bit late for that, maybe next season, because I'm guessing most people with ambitions of finishing these only have a dozen or so left that they're working on finishing off. Don't think a spreadsheet would be a big help here. When I asked a while back what people wanted talked about, hacking 20 pieces of equipment with EOD is what got mentioned the most, which I thought was odd. I didn't have any trouble with this one. I'm sure I've hacked at least 50 things by now. It really comes down to, do you run EOD all the time? If not, you should be. Which I guess I typically do, because I'm not an overkill fan. I'm typically working on camos one gun at a time. It's a waste of a perk to me, while EOD is fantastic. There's not going to be enough time to see a hackable object, change to EOD, and then go back there to hack the thing. So just have EOD on all the time. And the biggest other thing you can do to help you is to be running Spotter all the time to help you find the equipment. Your main hacking targets are going to be proxy mines, trophy systems, and claymores. You can't hack an ammo box, which I guess is fair enough. But you definitely can sneak close enough to a mine to hack it without it going off. Seen some confusion about that. Apart from that, strategy-wise, well, you know me, I live on Shoot House, and that seems pretty darn good for this. The map being small works well with the range of Spotter, because that isn't too big, so it'll be helping you track things down whenever they exist, and that's the part of the challenge you can't control. Some games, nobody will be using anything you can hack. And that's just too bad. Better luck next time. But other games, people will be running trophies, tossing down some double mines everywhere, maybe going for some challenges of their own, and you can rack up half a dozen hacks in one game. So I'm sorry I don't have any more advice than that. You just have to run EOD all the time, and Spotter will help too, and be on the lookout for the opportunity. Next most mentioned thing I see is definitely 50 White Phosphorus kills. Fun times, and this will probably be the bulk of the video. There are two parts to talk about here. There's the part where you have to earn it. It is a fairly high streak. And then there's the part where you use it. I'll talk about both. First of all, you gotta earn it, and this will also apply to the other high streak challenges, like you need a fair number of Chopper and Gunship kills. Well, let's go down the list of ways to earn a high streak. First, if you want to straight up earn it, my favorite setup is definitely to use killchain with the cruise missile, Wheelson, and then the thing you want for the challenge. You could certainly shift that up to grab a couple of the streaks you need for challenges, or you could replace the Predator with the Airstrike, since you need 60 Airstrike kills for a different challenge, while you only need 5 Cluster Strike kills. There's also the debate of VTOL versus Wheelson. I'm more on Team Wheelson, because not only is it one fewer kill, so it's easier to get from the missile, I find as long as I can call it in from a safe spot, it never fails to get me enough kills to get me to my next streak. People can't take it out in one shot. It kills quickly, you can roam around the map or stay in the area that you are to guard yourself from danger. The main benefit of the VTOL is that you aren't defenseless while it does its thing, but I find it less consistent. It can get shot down pretty quick since it's in the air, everyone can see it, and it can't get cold-blooded users, but you can really go either way here. I'm also aware that I may be a big Wheelson fan because I'm playing Shoot House all the time. It's much more lethal on a small map. If you're calling in a Wheelson on Ground War, you better pick a good time and place, otherwise good luck getting into the fight before your battery runs out. Okay, well, method 2, if you don't like your odds of earning high streaks, then there's always the hardline care package. If you can string 3 kills together, then you've earned another shot at something good that you need. Although the odds do seem quite poor in this game, and with no perk to re-roll it, because you can't even see what you're gonna get, you'll be getting a lot of shield turrets and personal radars. But if you're a lot more comfortable with 3 kill streaks, then it is an option. Method 3 is something I've covered before in regards to launcher XP, but I'll go into much greater detail this time. The Ground War HQ cheese method, where you sit in your safe, protected HQ, resupplying your launcher off an infinite ammo crate, and you shoot down all the enemy streaks with the pointsman perk on. Kinda dumb that you can do this, I know. I wouldn't call it OP, just annoying and probably unintentional, but it is a thing. This won't really work on the city map because there are buildings in the way, and it won't work if you're competing with a teammate who's trying to do the same thing, but otherwise it is a very chill, no skill required, team support way to earn a high streak. It just might take the entire game to do it though, and if the enemy team doesn't call in enough stuff, you might never get to your top streak in time. But you are very safe in your protected HQ. Enemies can't even enter it to come get you. I'd say the least safe one is the A flag side of River Quarry, because if the enemy takes the A flag, they might be in that big smokestack building, and they could easily snipe you from there. But otherwise, you're very safe, so you're free to run a weird streak setup like Emergency Airdrop, White Phosphorus, Gunship. I also like the spotter perk to help you find streaks, not even because of the red outline, but because you can open the map to see everything that's in the air and know what direction to be looking to see something, because things can get very tiny that far away. And I like cold-blooded to further avoid detection. Finally, you want the EMP plane field upgrade. This is going to give you a free injection of score every time you earn it. Just pull it up, drop it on some people, there you go, free score. Aiming for a tank could give you a little bit more, and if someone puts a turret down, you could get an easy 150 or so score from that. Makes me consider tune-up being better than spotter, but not for me. Launcher-wise, there are pros and cons to the Pila versus the Joker. I was using the Joker because I didn't have it maxed, but the Pila is much better for taking stuff down quickly. If UAV destroys are being stolen from you for being too slow with the Joker, you're pretty screwed. But the Joker has a few things going for it. It reloads way faster, so you can just dump rockets out at something like an AC-130 like crazy, even without amped. It also allows you to try to get some cheeky kills, either by locking onto some part of the map you have a line of sight on where there might be enemies, or something that can be fun to do is manually locking on to friendly streaks, like friendly personal radars and VTOLs. Don't worry, you can't damage your team's streaks, but they'll probably move out of the way, and what you actually locked onto is a fixed point in the air, not the vehicle itself. So that missile will come crashing down below wherever that thing was that you locked onto, and you can get some pretty funny kills that way. Finally, the Joker's hybrid night mode can actually be really helpful for seeing airstreaks, and it can allow you to see straight through white phosphorus smoke, which would otherwise completely block out your view of the sky. Good to know if someone is spamming white phosphorus, or you just dropped your own. Speaking of that, as soon as you get enough score to get your first streak, which in my case is usually the airdrop, call it in. I was mainly running that to have yet another chance at white phosphorus, but you may get some things that will earn you even more score and help you reach your next streak. Anyway, maybe the biggest flaw with this method, aside from the potential boredom and the potential wasted time if you don't get your streaks up before the game ends, is that big streaks like gunships I usually find to be not that great in Ground War. There are just too many people. Odds are at least 3 of them are gonna be trying to shoot you down, and that's all it takes for you to go down pretty darn quick. On top of that, depending on the map, there are going to be a lot of people indoors, a lot of people with cold-blooded, so after you finally get that gunship that took the whole game, you might only get 3 or 4 kills with it. A nice dose of karma for shooting down everyone else's stuff for the whole game. So that's a thing to keep in mind, but it can work, just another potential method. Final thing for earning streaks, not another method, more like revisiting the first method of earning them the normal way, maybe the elephant in the room. You might be feeling like streaks are harder to earn in this game sometimes. Yeah, why is that? Well, there are some noob-friendly design choices when it comes to the weapons and the hidey holes in the maps that can end your streak sometimes, but I'm not sure that's the whole picture. I would certainly never encourage anything that would undermine the integrity of this great game we play, and I would certainly never do anything like that myself, for I am quite the upstanding citizen. That said, I've noticed something really strange. Maybe you guys can help me figure this one out. For some reason, when I try to get some XP on my riot shield, it's as if every game I play gets steadily easier. Strange, right? Now, all I was doing was trying to get XP on my riot shield, like the game is telling me I should do. I had to get it all the way up to level 31. How else was I supposed to do that? So that's what I did. And all that training must have really toughened me up. I think using the riot shield made me a really good player. Because every time I go back to a gun after, 5 games or so, I feel like a god. And I feel bad, like I really don't want to be bullying these people I was matched up against for some reason. It'd be nice if lobbies were composed of players of all mixed abilities. Now, I certainly don't have enough data to draw any meaningful conclusions here, but apparently, it seems like if you train really hard with the riot shield, it can really sharpen your abilities and make you really good at the game. Very weird, I just can't get to the bottom of it. So that's a thing. I wish it didn't work like that, but it do. Who knows when that might get tweaked, and by how much. It might already be different, and it's hard for me to pick up on because I'm not a top 1% player or anything. Honestly, to me, the effect doesn't feel as subjectively strong as it did at launch, but that could be because I've gotten used to it, and I grind Shoot House very mindlessly. Anyway, that is unfortunately a thing, and if you can get a gunship or a chopper on Shoot House, it is several times more valuable than getting one anywhere else, because there is nowhere to hide on this map. Nowhere at all. Even the office has holes in the roof. That's enough about earning killstreaks, spent a while on it, but it is something that should apply to future seasons as well. Now we should be getting back to White Phosphorus. Now that you've earned one, what is the deal with it? Why is it so hard to get kills? Well, it's mainly designed to be an impairment disruption thing, kind of like an advanced counter UAV. It gives you assist points for all the kills your team gets while it's active. And that probably would have been a better challenge than kills, because the main thing is that it weakens enemies, and it has them making loud coughing noises to help sound whore them, and if you have thermal optics, this would be a great time to pull them out, because you can see infinitely far through the phosphorus smoke. All that said, you can definitely get kills with it. Take your time to choose a good path for the bombing run, and I typically get 1 to 3 kills with it. I see some people who say they get nothing every time. Might be the map you're on, might be just getting unlucky, because the things that give you kills are the burning flare type things on the ground. If people walk too close to them, they'll burn, and you'll get some extra kills over time. However, the worst part about this challenge is that it only seems to track the kills from the initial bombing run. So even if 5 people walk into your flares after the fact, and even though they have the same kill icon, they don't seem to count. That should help explain the slow progress you may be seeing. My best example of this, where I was tracking it closely, is a bit of a weird one. I dipped into hardcore for some pistol kills, forgot that I had the streak on. I wouldn't recommend doing the challenge in hardcore. I was scared to call it in case I killed too many teammates and got kicked, but of course I had to call it in. I picked a corner that I thought was pretty safe. The bombing killed 1 enemy and 1 teammate. And then over time, I got 4 more kills on enemies from them running into the flares. And all of that together ended up giving me 2 kills on the challenge, when I'm pretty sure it should have been 5. So my best theory that fits with everything else people are experiencing is that the 2 kills from the initial bombing is what counted, even though 1 was a teammate. Now, I'm not at all recommending doing this in hardcore, because not only would trying to kill teammates be douchey, but I assume if you kill too many, you'd be kicked. Anyway, just be aware of that annoying quirk about the challenge. You have to get the kills with the initial bombing, so all you can really do is earn a lot of them using all those killstreak methods we talked about, and try to call them in a good spot. I had the most success in, of course, Shoot House, and some ground war as well. That ain't bad with how many people there are. Moving on, but we're not even escaping kill streaks yet. I mentioned those 60 airstrike kills that could cause a little trouble. Gotta earn a lot of those too, and just call them in on objectives like hardpoints or headquarters where people are often grouped up. Or if you're on Shoot House like me, in something like Dom, I find lasing the opposing sniper head glitch wall from where you spawn has given me a kill or several every single time. Done that over a dozen times, and I'm pretty sure I got at least 1 kill literally every time. I'm sure that luck will run out eventually, but just another idea for those airstrikes. The final kill streak I'll talk about, if you could even call it that, is the dreaded shield turret. Only 40 kills with something that you can earn in a 2 kill streak with hardline. How could this possibly be an annoying challenge? Well, as I think we all know, the shield turret is quite bad. I saw one shield turret fan in my comments the last time it got brought up. You might have had one good experience with it, but I think you should use it a little longer and get back to me, bud. Pretty much everyone agrees this thing sucks, and you'd be better off with any regular gun. But alright, pretty much all you can do is maybe lay down a trophy system to protect that frail thing from the rockets that may come your way. Alternatively, you could set up a barricade to protect your legs, but these are honestly novelty strategies. One of the biggest problems is the amount of time you have to be vulnerable setting the thing up, so you don't want that to take longer. And they're really easy to earn, so just keep earning them and plopping them down. You could try to do it under the cover of smoke if you want to set it up in a busy location, but honestly, I usually got killed doing that, and I had just as much, if not more, success setting it up in a dumb, pretty safe location and just waiting for someone to come by, even if it isn't a spot with a big view of the map or anything. Sometimes you might get a few kills, sometimes you'll just get blown up. That is the struggle of the shield turret. The biggest hurdle for me was getting myself to stop procrastinating placing the turret. I'd have hardline and get 2 kills right off the bat, and I'd just hold on to it for the whole game, re-earning it half a dozen times before finally deciding to plop it down and suffer. Well, it's only 40 kills, so you can do it. You can fight through the horrible hit registration, phantom bullet thing this thing has going on, and the complete lack of bullet penetration. You can overcome the slight drift it has, where it just keeps listing lazily to one direction or the other, so you have to keep dragging it back to center. You can do it. You can get those kills before a gust of wind destroys your turret. I believe in you. Apparently, it can make you look like a wall hacker in Final Kill Cams, too. Now let us touch on a few more challenges. 20 pistol headshots isn't hard, but I wanted to mention it as a headshot tip in general. Who knows how many headshots will be needed for things next season? Of course, you can go around getting 1-digs or using the Magnum. Headshot multipliers are refreshingly useful in this game, but a good alternative, if you want a more spammy or forgiving pistol, is the realism mode. I wanted to remind everyone that this mode is a thing. I know there's the 3% of you out there who are going to write a comment about, what do you mean remind me, it's all I play? But I bet most people, when they think one-tap headshots, will think of hardcore as the thing to play. But the problem is you have to be very accurate and fast to make sure you hit the head and not the body. Because of the very low health, you could accidentally get a body shot kill, and you're going to get killed very quickly too. There's very little room for error. Whereas in realism mode, everything kills in one shot to the head, but you have normal health when getting shot in the body, which is just a little bit more helpful when your only goal is headshots. Karma and Backfire require a whole lot of picking up enemy weapons. For some people, these were bugged at first, I believe. Should be good now. I'd say Karma is self-explanatory and should complete itself when going for Backfires. When it comes to hunting those, there are a few things you can do. One, obviously don't play ground war. Good luck finding the 1 in 32 whose gun you have. Although I'm sure the odds are better than that since they may spawn nearby and come back for revenge. But it'll be way easier on something like good old Shoot House, where they aren't going to spawn too far away because it's a tiny map. You can do this challenge over time, the lazy way, by just getting a kill, taking a gun, and getting kills on whoever you see until you get lucky. Or you can go a bit more tryhard and really pay attention to track people down. You would do that by remembering the person's name who you killed when you take their gun, then check the map and do your best to guess where they would have spawned. I'd be terrible at this on any other map, but if you've played a lot of Shoot House, you probably have a good feel for the spawns. And then based on how you've judged their playstyle so far, you can try to predict where they'll go from there. Like, some people are just going to rush to the sniper head glitch spot non-stop. Some people are going to rush around and they might come back to that same spot to get revenge. That's pretty common. Also, since you know their name, you can see if in the kill feed they get killed again and will respawn again, or if they get a kill, then you can see where your teammate's skull indicator is, and you'll know that is exactly where he is. Maybe that all sounds overcomplicated, but you'll probably be doing some of that without thinking, because throughout the match, you'll get used to what weapons enemies are using. You'll probably start recognizing them from the skin they're using. Anyway, that challenge can take a while, especially since it's unlocked near the end. Just a couple more. Resistance can be a tough one. It's one of the only challenges here that is more of a single feat of skill and luck, rather than a grind over time. 5 kills defending a single objective. I tried to get this to work in Dom many times. I got 5 kills without leaving a flag. Every kill said it was defense. Never got it to count, and I've heard many people say the same thing, although I have seen some people say Dom did work for them, but headquarters is what worked for me, and most other people as well from what I hear. You capture the HQ and defend it from 5 people. This right here is the example that counted for me. Not the easiest thing in the world. A trophy system could be very helpful so you don't get rocketed to death. Maybe EOD and Battle Hardened for when that runs out. I didn't get the chance to test Hardpoint, but that just seems harder than headquarters anyway, because each single objective only lasts a minute before it's gone, and even if you're there at the start, no guarantees 5 enemies will come to you in time and not get killed off by your teammates. While in headquarters, people are gonna be rushing in to shut down that HQ, maybe too quickly for your liking, and when a teammate dies, they're dead, so it just comes down to you being able to get those 5 kills defending the HQ. If you're really struggling, maybe it would be easier after a little riot shield training. I wish that wasn't the case. Finally, I guess I'll mention the challenge at the very end. You only need 1 quad feed, shouldn't be too bad. Couple ways you could get this would be a Predator missile in Ground War, because that's something that gets all the kills at the same time, and you need that. Even something like a Chopper probably won't get you a quad feed in Ground War with how quickly the kill feed moves, unless you find a good clump of people to spam some rockets into. Or, there's always Shoot House. If you're getting your gunships and choppers on there, that should be getting you some quad feeds. And you may just get some regular ones over time. Quad feeds are a hard thing to try to get, but they happen, so focus down the other challenges first for sure. That's going to be everything I'll cover from these challenges. I'm sure I could say some menial things for tons of these, but nothing you probably haven't figured out. If I missed something you're really struggling with, you can ask away in the comments. Maybe me or someone else can help you out. I wish you the very best of luck if you're trying to finish these off before the Tuesday reset. If you're not going to make it and you wanted to, I get that's frustrating, definitely a flaw with the system, one of a few flaws with the system, but you still get the emblem for however high you got. And don't feel too bad. We still don't even know what reward we got for doing this yet. Maybe we'll get that promised animated emblem at reset, but even then there will be plenty more of those to earn, so don't sweat it. Well, time to go max out some weapons. I'll see you in Season 1. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.